Yes, welcome along to episode 2 of Upping The Ante with thanks to our sponsors Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen counting down to the 2026 Cheltenham Festival. And Johnny, week 1, record-breaking numbers for the show on YouTube. Yeah, up on last time we checked around 77,000, Johnny.
Go away, I didn't realise that.
They're coming back to see, you're like Oasis, Johnny.
Yeah.
They're coming back to see you for your final tour.
I didn't think we were going to those figures now. I knew there was like 40 for some of them earlier ones last year.
Yeah.
77 seems to be, I don't know what the...
Johnny, it's the farewell tour. That's the effect. That's the Johnny Dineen effect.
They must be promoting it more or something.
And our production team are telling us that over 50% of those viewers are not subscribed. So get subscribed, and we're going to have a massive giveaway before the Cheltenham Festival. We're going to have a prize that we're going to reveal to you in the next couple of weeks if we can get enough subscribers. So don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. Get your views into us here on Upping The Ante. How was your week, Johnny?
We finished up losing, a negative at the very finish now, yeah.
Okay, well, don't give it all away. We'll come to that in a second. But just in general, in life in general, how was your week?
Life, fine, yeah, fine. Good. Bad start today.
Oh.
3 things have gone wrong already, you know.
3?
Yeah, pulled out something out of the fridge at 5 in the morning. It fell on the ground, glass everywhere.
What was it?
I don't know, a bowl or something, right? It's supposed to...
Glass everywhere?
Yeah, so I had to hoover that at 5 in the morning, clean it off, stop. The next thing then is the train is delayed. Like, how is a train delayed? How can a train be late? I can't understand that.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's one of your bugbears, isn't it? Yeah.
Stinker. Anyway, and the third thing is the guy in the taxi wouldn't bring me up to the door here. He said you couldn't come up, it's only for deliveries. I said, you're delivering me, aren't you? And he wouldn't have it. So I had to walk the last 200 yards.
Bad start, isn't it?
No, this doesn't all go well for the afternoon anyway.
No, it doesn't. No, definitely not. And tell me this, everybody wants to know, how is the Couch to 5K going?
No, it's not starting until January.
Oh, it's January.
It's the next session of it, is a group of fellas in January. I'm going into it now.
You are?
I am going to try it anyway, yeah. So you can do a bit of walking in it too. You don't have to run either, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to set the world alight, but I'll do it all right.
Right, okay, fair play. Yeah. And will you do any preparation or anything?
Zero. I'm going from couch to 5.
Yeah. You're sticking to the rules.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no cheating from Johnny. Going straight from the couch to the 5K. Okay, let's get on with the show. So let's kick off with Johnny's week in review. Now, you gave the game away a little bit there, Johnny. How did it go?
No, I lost. Between the whole week I lost. I was winning going into Sunday. Bad day Sunday. Good day Friday, Good day Friday.
Yeah, I was chatting to you Friday. You were going well
Friday, yeah. I had a dirty little Dundalk's evening session at the same time. But one on Friday, still one on Friday. But no, Sunday was the day I what did I back?
Was there anything particularly nasty?
Floor in the park was the real kick, a real proper one now, an old-fashioned kick in the Magoodles. Yeah. You know that was a disaster. How that lost, I do not know. Yeah. I mean, fellas were saying that the young fella should have driven it. All he had to do was get over the last. He did that. You couldn't have asked for any more. He gave it a great ride all the way around. I was just saying to him, don't ask for me. Just all you have to do is get out over the end of this without rooting it. And he did that. And I don't know how I just cannot believe how a horse that stays up to 3 miles could throw away a race against the yoke that was on fumes like Westport Cove. I just couldn't hardly believe.
How were you feeling afterwards?
It was like.
Where were you in your sitting room?
I was sitting down and watching it. I could hardly believe it. I was like, you wouldn't have this kind of result normally anyway. And there ain't the man alive would have fancied Westport Cove coming to the last, in my opinion. Like, he had been running gassy, running too free and everything, and your man had collared him, caught him, went by him, jumped the last, didn't really... Game over. The game was over going to the last. The game was over from about 5 out, bar a fall, really, because he had him in his sights. He didn't even get away, and once he had him in his sights and he was jumping away fine, he was pooping away grand, you could not fault the young fella. He gave him a great ride, and it was just one of those... The man above decided we'd give Westport Cove a bit of energy here for some reason.
He was against you there.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So I put my tools away after that. I had a bad day now Friday on the Sunday, so that put me behind.
And when something like that happens, are you cursing, or are you shouting or ranting, or are you just...
Well, this particular instance, I wasn't even countenancing defeat. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you'd be shouting, go on, keep him going or something like that. But they were saying, Dad, it's all over. You know what I mean? And even when the other fellow was apparently coming near him, I was saying, we'd be all right here, surely. Like, you know what I mean? Next thing, we're not all right.
Go have a look at Fleur in the Park against Westport Cove in Punchestown on Sunday.
I backed another horse, Master Haku in Cork. That was beat ahead. But the only thing about Master Haku, it had every chance to go by. And it was like at 4 or 5 times up the straight, you're saying, yeah, he'll win. He won't. Next thing, go on, he'll win. You know, the next thing he won't. The next thing, but so you could envisage defeat. Whereas you're Flow in the Park, I was never envisaging defeat. Now, to be honest.
So that was your biggest blow of the week.
It was my biggest bet in the Sunday by a mile as well. Do you know what I mean? It was the horse I fancied the most. So
and overall for the week, just
I lost, but nothing horrific, no. But I lost it. I went from winning to losing. But look, those things happen to me every day of the week anyway. You mean so?
There we go. That's Johnny's week in review. Flow in the Park. So it's time for Ask Us Anything, where you get to have your say here on Up in the Ante. Get your questions in to upintheante@racingpost.com and we'll answer the best ones. And first up this week is Paul Cahill. And Paul says, how on earth is Grey Dawning still 14-1, yes, 14-1 Bet365 for the Cheltenham Gold Cup after his demolition job in the Betfair Chase at Haydock on Saturday? Johnny, is he now the most underrated horse in training?
Yeah, look, I'd say he's possibly underrated a fraction, yeah. But I think the key to Grey Dawning is soft ground, in my opinion. And the later you go into the season, the less likely he is to get his ground. Like he is unlikely to get the ground that suits him best in a place like Cheltenham. He definitely didn't get it in Aintree last year. I think he would have won that race in Aintree if the ground was slow. Because when he jumped into the lead at the second last, that race was over. But
he's beaten by a monster, though, John.
I was beaten by Gaelic Warrior, but Gaelic Warrior had gave him first run and everything. Like there would have been no betting in that race if the ground was soft. But to me, Grey Dawning won slow ground. His only gammy run last year was in the good ground in the King George, and even the last day, I suppose he'd revel in it even softer, even up to heavy ground. Even I'd say would suit him better. He's a very dangerous horse in any kind of a race.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. On slow, on soft to heavy ground.
So if it did happen to be a soft to heavy Gold Cup,
he'd have a chance. He'd have a great chance. He would. Absolutely. His jumping is immaculate. His jumping is pinpoint, gaining ground without using energy. He's everything you really want in a chaser. And so he does everything right.
But does he not have to get to a level the Gaelic Warriors, Factophiles, Galloping the Champs? I know the way you're thinking when he's on song. Does he not have to get to a far higher level than he's at the moment?
I'd say he's already at a level of Gaelic Warrior anyway, for starters, though. You know what I mean? On slow ground, I'd say he'd be a match for most horses, yeah. Okay. I would, definitely. I do think, but the key to him is softer ground, and he's probably better fresh. But if you arrive to a Gold Cup, like you're not, the problem is in the spring, March, April, it's unlikely that he's going to get the ground that he wants. And like even in Kempton, it's rarely anyway, really is it.
Well, he said he's never going right-handed again.
Is he not? Yeah. I would have said that the ground would be more of a worry for him than or more of a right hand an issue, I should say, yeah, rather than right-handed. I mean, he did win over hurdles right-handed in Kempton anyway, for sure. I wouldn't be so sure that's the reason he run bad in Kempton last year. I would say, like, he's a horse to me that goes the same speed on slow ground as he does on fast ground, or faster ground at the same time.
So 14-1, you don't think it's the worst price in the world?
No, but like I'd be keeping an eye on the weather, and he will be 5-6-1 no matter what. And I'd say if the ground come up lively, he mightn't even show there. You know?
Did you back him on Saturday?
I did, yeah, I did.
You're always happy.
I was really, but it turned into an ordinary race now at the same time. But you'd rarely see a horse win a Grade 1, any kind of a Grade 1 as easy as that at the same time. Like, you know, I mean, pulling the head off and going to the second last. I mean, he was going so easy that he couldn't possibly lose. Sure, he couldn't really. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You say, will he find anything? But he was actually going so easy. Yeah. You said like he cannot but go by Royal Pigalle, surely, and he did.
He did indeed. There you go. He could be underrated, and 14-1 is not the worst price in the world. That's Grey Dawning, Paul. Next up is Michael Walker. Michael put his questions in, and they said we wouldn't answer that. They don't answer tough questions like that, but we're going to answer it. Michael wants to know, is it a bad look for racing that the Gold Cup winner was out the back of the telly for a jog around in the John Durkin Chase? Johnny Dineen.
I suppose that
he's saying that he's been primed for one day.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Look, I think maybe it's slightly against the ethics of the whole racing game as such. But I would say one thing. Like, he is being primed for one day. He was primed for it last year. And look, Willie Mullins has 4 or 5 bullets for every race. And it's easy for him to contest races. Like those John Durkins and all these kind of races. Whereas Cromwell only has the one bullet to fire, you know what I mean? And he's got to mind that bullet, in my opinion. And it's not as if it wasn't fairly widely known where he's going to be campaigned this season.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're looking at it, you're seeing 20-1, I know the way you're thinking for the John Durkin. And secondly, another reason to hear this, he wouldn't win it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And he had a bit of a belly, he did, in the ring
Did he?
beforehand.
Yeah. But he's bound to have, I suppose, and he's going to be geared. You're going to see steadier, a bit of improvement at Christmas, more improvement in the Dublin Racing Festival, and then the D-Day is going to be Cheltenham Gold Cup.
So the John Durkin chase, a fantastic spectacle, brilliant to watch. Gaelic Warrior, Factophile. It was a 2-horse race. So the knockers of the race are saying, well, hold on here a second. There was only 2 horses in the race. The rest of them didn't want to know about it.
Well, I think Heartwood and Faster Slow both made an attempt to go with them, of some description anyway, for sure. Yeah. The other 5, as well as Sinetia, is it Sinetia? Yeah. That nobody's probably in the race, but the other 5 were probably there having sighters, having runs to get themselves started for the season. But judging by the betting, you knew that was the case. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
10-1 bar the 2 it was.
Yeah, and any price you like, some of these horses, but like I take more offence to maybe horses that are in the betting, like which there was a few last weekend in certain races, and taking no part whatsoever.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So horses that were capable of winning races that basically
horses that people actually got caught back in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like I laid one horse in a race. I'm not going to mention the race, right? But I laid a favourite in a race, thinking that the second favourite had a chance, the third favourite had a chance, and the fourth favourite might have had a chance. Yeah. The third favourite was never, ever put into the race. It wasn't a big price now either.
Okay.
And it wasn't a Mickey Mouse contest either. Do you know what I'm saying? He was never, ever put into the race. Anyone that backed him had their pocket picked.
So do you think then, as you say, in these big grade 1s, like the other, there was 10 runners, the other 8 probably wouldn't have won the race anyway.
No.
And you get more annoyed with horses who can win races that
I get more annoyed at horses that are under 5-1 and they look like they have a chance in races, and the betting is telling you they have a chance. Yes. Whereas the betting in this instance is telling you that horse has no chance.
Okay, so on the John Durkin then, Gaelic Warrior and Factophile, will you admit now that you got Gaelic Warrior wrong and he's not overrated?
Well, he's a good horse, obviously. Of course, he's a good horse. But
good horse, but you're like, what do you mean he's a good horse?
Yeah, he's a very good horse.
He's not better than a good horse. Well, look at his record, like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, but like he has to go and win a big race now at the same time this year.
Durkin, not a big race.
And look, it was, but he did get a soft enough lead at the same time.
But he got a soft enough knee because nobody was able to go with him.
But I wouldn't say that, no. I would say Factophile be able to go with him. He'd have been closer to him if he really wanted to be close to him. But he did give him a good lead out the gate now, to be honest. He gave him probably 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, whatever. But look, it came down to just the 2 of them up the straight, and your man battled back and beat. Maybe Factophile possibly might have just showed the signs of maybe needing to run or whatever. You know?
Okay, so the 2 of them at 100%, in peak physical condition, jumping really well, travelling well, with their ideal conditions, over 3 miles, who wins?
I'd fancy Factophile, I think, yeah. I would. Definitely over 2.5 miles. Anyway.
So if both of them go to the King George, who would you fancy?
Oh, definitely Factophile. Definitely. I don't fancy Gaelic Warrior in the King George at all. I don't, because I tell you what happened over there is he won't...
Right, go on, Johnny, tell me. Convince me, right, because you have some convincing to do.
He won't get his own way in the King George.
Sure. What do you mean? He didn't get his own way in Aintree last year. He was held up. Didn't get his own way in Sandon.
The race finished.
He didn't lead in the Arkle, and he still won it.
Yeah, I still think that he's a better horse when he's allowed bowl, like last Sunday. That's when he's at his best.
So you don't fancy him at all in the King George?
I don't really, no. I don't. Look, jukebox thing, over in England there are different types of races too. They don't leave the likes of Paul Town.
And there's a lot of potential pace in the race.
They don't leave the likes of Paul Town and dominate bully races like they are over here. You know what I mean? It's very easy for them to win a lot of races when they're allowed to control the races from the front. I just think that when Gaelic Warrior is in the middle of, you can either probably ride him from the front or maybe drop him from the rear. But in the race of King George, dropping him from the rear ain't going to work. But in the middle of them, I think he could be vulnerable. I even thought his jumping the other day was a bit messy, even on his own. He did hit 1 or 2 fences down the far side. Look, time will tell. I would be against him in the King George. I think King George is going to be a really good race this year too. Really good race. And look, we'll see how he gets on. But
we'll see.
I personally don't fancy him in the King George anyway.
Right. Okay, and very, very quickly, while you're on the subject, you mentioned Paul Townend there. Who's better, Paul Townend or Sean Bowen?
Actually, look, it's like how long is a piece of string? You know what I mean?
Well, simple question. Who's better?
I don't know. It's a very. Do you know who's riding insane at the moment? It's Cobden. He's riding the
Unbelievable,
ears
Johnny.
off of fellas there in England. He's codding them up to their eyeballs. I'm not joking you. He's riding. He's not riding brilliant horses, but he's winning on the horses there.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely
Yeah,
controlling.
he'd be my number 2.
Yeah. Bowen is a great jockey too. Look. I'll put it this way. I would say there's nobody better than Townend anyway.
There you go. That's
But
your answer.
like I would say, I would have the likes of Cobden and Bowen up there with him at the same time.
Yeah,
You know?
second and third. Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's say second and third.
There we go. That's last Sunday's John Durkin. And now it's time for Justin Bryan's question. And Justin says, if Johnny was starting out in life again, Johnny, if you were maybe 20 years younger, maybe, would you still become a professional punter? And how hard is it to make a living out of it?
Well, it's definitely harder now than it ever was. I would have thought it definitely is. It was much easier 25 years ago anyway, that's for certain. There was more money around anyway, and it was easier to win, even as a bookie, maybe as well. Would I start now? The answer would probably be no. Like they're definitely limited nowadays, and you're getting more limited as time passes. Like you've got to be kind of realistic too, as insofar as how many avenues you've got to exploit, and how much you can actually win as well by going down those routes. So like you've got to look. I have to say 3 or 4 different possible routes of maybe poking something out of somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but nowadays, like you go into a betting shop, like you ain't going to be allowed to root it out. Like you know what I mean? You're just not going to be allowed. That's not going to happen. So there's only a certain amount you can win there. It's probably the same with exchanges and that. You know what I mean? The money has gone lighter. You can win in them, all right, but you can also lose too. Of course you can. You go to the races. Like you can't get the same bets that you could 25 years ago. Do you know what I mean? You can still bet now, and you can still probably poke something up, as I said. But
have you a figure in your head?
Yes,
you
I
don't have
do.
to tell us. Have you a figure in your head every year what you'd like to win?
Yeah.
And how often do you reach that figure?
The last few years I have. There's then a few years before that I didn't, and actually lost a couple of years even. But in the good times you'd meet that figure easily, like you know what I mean. But nowadays it's a struggle to make it get to that figure, and you'll be wondering sometimes will you get there or will you? And like this year actually I'm a mile ahead of the figure.
Oh, you are?
Was early on.
Oh, you were?
I still am a bit ahead of it, but only by as the year's nearly over now. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to get that figure probably, but I was looking at like a much bigger figure. I thought. You know,
you were bringing her off to Barbados.
We were heading somewhere anyway. Yeah.
And the big question that people want to know, Johnny, is right. So let's pretend it's 20. What age are you now?
55.
Right. Let's pretend it's 25 years ago. Right. You're 30 year old, or we'll say 30 years ago. Right. You're 25. You're starting out in life. You're not going to be a professional punter or anything to do with racing. What would you be?
I would have liked to. I would have liked to have had a go off of the stock exchange, something like that.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? If you'd probably do a finish
You're going
up,
to say a hairdresser.
do a Bernie Madoff or something, or what's that? Wolf in Wall Street.
Yeah,
or
Jordan.
something. Yeah, whatever that guy is. Yeah, but I would have liked
a bit of a Leonardo DiCaprio
I would have
look
liked
about
the,
you,
I
right?
would have liked the figures, the movement.
So maths, you think? And like, would you have ever been an accountant or gone into accountancy or anything
That's
like that?
very boring, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But accountancy is like is quite boring.
A lot of accountants watching
Probably,
the show.
I know, but look, it wouldn't be for me. But there might be an opening for a bookie at the races now. There might, if a tech-savvy young fella maybe. I don't really know. Like I finished up in a bad bookie. Do you know what I mean? Insofar as no patience anymore. We lost our patience.
Okay.
And the money got smaller. I remember like we were there in Cheltenham even, and there was women coming in betting in 250s each way. It didn't suit me at all, all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But
It depends what they look like, though.
yeah, I was. Yeah, I had another man with me. He had no patience either. But next thing I was there one day, it's a good one. This lady came in anyway, and she had 250 each way 4, 250 each way 6, and 250 each way 11, and she'd all these bets written down her card. You mean she was betting for a crowd in the bar? I'd say. You know what I mean? So it's this she called a non-runner, right? 250 each. Next thing, whoever said, no, that doesn't run. Next thing, my man, he had 3 tickets for her anyway. He says, here, boom, they're your bets. She said, let's give you money. No, you're okay, just go away. Because there's a big queue behind her. You know what I mean? She's looking up saying, how do you mean? You free bets, just go away.
That's the type of service that Johnny Dineen provides. Free bets to all customers. So there you go. He might be on the stock exchange if he wasn't a professional punter. And last up this week is Mark Winston. And Mark wants to know, is Johnny going to do as many retirement tours as Frankie the Tory as he waves goodbye to Upping The Ante? And what is your contingency plan now, Johnny, after Upping The Ante?
Yeah, after Upping The Ante, I have 0 contingency.
You might stay, will you?
No, definitely not. No, we're done and dusted. Absolute certainty that is no. No, I've no kind. Like when I started this, I was only going to do it for a year or two, and do you know what I mean? And look, if it is on next year or whatever, they'll find someone to do it easily. Of course they will.
There's only one Johnny Dineen.
No, but still, they probably thought the same when Gavin was doing it. They know what I mean? And he reserved. No, suddenly they got me in. It's he's fine. But if they got someone else, they won't remember me anymore. Do you know what I mean?
It won't be the same. Johnny,
I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
So tell me this about the retirement tour. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of zero. I'll be just going back into doing nothing again anyway, because like I'm getting too old for all this kind of stuff anyway. Probably, you know what I mean? But
you're getting good at it, Johnny. You're getting a following.
I don't care. I mean, I won't be doing as many Cheltenham previews this year either. No.
You're joking.
No, definitely not. No. Like fellas had you down as doing Cheltenham previews for going around like trying to grab them. I was making no money out of Cheltenham. Most of the Cheltenham previews I do for nothing anyway.
In fairness, Johnny, you're probably the most generous person I know. But you don't charge for anything.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, like, but like I could do 10 Cheltenham previews, get paid for about 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean, like out of 10. And fellas said, he's doing Cheltenham previews. I don't need cleaning up, like, you know, they'll finish up losing money doing them. You know?
Travelling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, and I find it hard to say no to people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're very bad at saying no.
I find it hard to say no, but this year I was trying to get. But look, I've no contingency plan.
What about so will you just go to the Dublin Racing Festival to sign autographs, or what will you do?
I won't be doing anything like that. Jesus, that I hope. I'll just go back into where I came from, nowhere. I don't intend to be doing this kind of work for the rest of my life or anything like that. Not really, no.
Unless the right offer comes in.
I wouldn't. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. Anyway, travelling around the place. And look, it's grand to do it's one day a week and a Tuesday. It's fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't really interfere with my week. But I wouldn't like to be going. Like, do you know what I wouldn't like to do? I wouldn't like to have to go and do go to the races while the races are on and talk about it. That would really interfere with what I actually want to do myself.
Do you know
what I'm
saying? You won't be a pundit then, okay?
No, I don't like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's okay to talk about horses when there's nothing on. You know what I mean? But like it's no good saying you were presenting, say, for RTE or whatever. And next thing, where's he gone to? He's down back in the horse. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's watching the 240 in Ludlow.
Johnny will be back in 2 minutes, but just jump in the second last at Ludlow.
Yeah, exactly.
And you like this.
Next thing it's Pete to go back big sour face.
Yeah. So, go on, Ruby. What do you fancy anyway?
So like that kind of work wouldn't suit me at all. You know what I mean? It wouldn't.
Just go back to the couch.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you're
going to be running by the time spring comes along. You'll be doing half marathons and everything.
I won't be doing that now. But if I could get some way fitter anyway, I could do me no harm. But no, listen, I manage without it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like this kind of work, really, to be honest.
I'll miss you anyway.
Actually, listen, it's good while everything comes. Do you know one thing I did? I always kind of wanted to do something like this. I kind of wanted to go, like, if you stay on the pitch too long, fellas get sick of you too. Do you know what I mean? I think they do anyway. And it's hard to keep a thing going forever. So, like, I kind of wanted to go when fellas said it was good rather than it was on the way down. You know what I mean?
Well, you've 18 episodes to go, Johnny.
Yeah, so. I know, yeah. I can put that right, yeah.
There we go. That's what Johnny is going to do after Up in the Ante. Nothing. So it's time for Star of the Week on Up in the Ante, where Johnny counts down his top 3 performances from the last 7 days. Take it away, number 3.
Number 3, I went with Wodhooh in that race in Ascot. I actually laid Wodhooh, and I didn't. I just, you know the way mares do have a good season, and sometimes they don't build it into the next season. And I said, this is not a bad race. And like before the home turn, I said she's gone anyway. She's definitely beat. She's going nowhere. Dropped back into 4th or 5th, and next thing she came in. But between the last 2, you're in trouble now, all right, if you're against her. And like she absolutely bolted in the finish. But
brilliant jockey.
Brilliant,
Danny
right.
Gaelic.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant.
Excellent,
jockey.
yeah.
Like he's one that could be destined for the very, very top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I would say Elliot's stable. It's the one, you know where there's a number 1 jockey?
Yeah. It's
the one stable where there's very little between
1, 2 and 3 maybe.
even.
Yeah,
you know what
Sam
I mean?
Ewing.
Whereas the other stables, there's a clear gap. You know what I mean? Like if Cobden isn't riding for Nichols, if Townend isn't riding for
Mullins.
Yeah, if Darragh O'Keefe isn't riding for the Bromhead, Harry Skelton, there's a huge gap.
Yeah.
But if you said to me, Elliot has a runner in Down Royal, who's riding it? Wouldn't care, like, would you, Jack?
And that's testament more to Danny than Jack.
No, Jack Kenny's a very good jockey too. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, and even Sam Ewing, you know what I mean. You wouldn't care who was riding any one of them. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like, I do think he's a great jockey, and he didn't panic And he probably knew that if he gave her a bit of a time to get going, and she did get going, her jump at the last real fast jump.
It was it was like as if she got off the ground and didn't hit the hurdle.
Yeah.
But it's like as if she didn't get off the ground.
No, that's it, yeah. But
just have a look at that last hurdle jump by Wodhooh. It was extraordinary.
She won well. She stays strong now. I mean, she's probably a contender for the mayor's hurdle, obviously, is
she'll run in the mares.
Probably will, yeah. But she would be contender for the state hurdle too, I'd say.
Yeah, she would, yeah, but he's just got so many for that, hasn't he?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I suppose it depends on how Tiapu gets on.
Well, the fact that she's a mayor and she's eligible for the mayor's hurdle, like, she's probably running it, all right, yeah. But she impressed me now.
And the same course and distance as the Martin Pike this year.
I didn't think she was as good as she is now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. So she's number 3.
I wouldn't be laying her in a hurry anyway. That's what. Number 2, like, I have left out the John Durkin out of this, you know what I mean? I have, because as you said, you could say that it was a 2-horse race.
You have this thing against Gaelic Warrior.
No, I haven't. But it was a great race, a great finish. But I suppose I could have put it in easily. I could, but I didn't bother. I put in Grey Dawning as number 2. Anyway.
Okay, number 2, Grey Dawning. We spoke about Grey Dawning already.
And rarely you'd see a horse win a Grade 1 as easy as that. You could easily have put in like the performance of the week. I suppose was you could easily have put in the likes of what's his name again.
If you use Gaelic Warrior.
Gaelic Warrior, yeah. But he didn't win by a lot, I suppose.
What's his name again?
Yeah. Our factor file. But look, anyway, I put in Grey Dawning as number 2. Okay. But again, like he didn't beat the quality of a horse that the other 2 ran against at the same time.
But you have a soft spot for him and you hate Gaelic Warrior. Okay.
No, I don't really hate Gaelic. Gaelic Warrior has run in a few stinkers over the years. That's what I'd be worried about. You know what I mean? Like I can't get over the factor file tore him a new one in Leopardstown. Yeah, that kind of a run, like out of nowhere. You know, did he get beaten in
Leopardstown last year? Yeah, by Solness.
Did he get beaten in Punchestown at the end of last year at a sharp price as well?
2 years ago after the Arkle.
Yeah, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Elected Thomas. So.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Okay, so Grey Dawning is number 2. So this is interesting now because I just presumed it would be Gaelic Warrior. Who's number 1?
Django Boy.
Oh yeah.
Really impressed me.
Oh, that was lovely.
Really impressed me. I would say Django Boy is a Gold Cup horse, a big contender. Wow. Huge contender, in fact. Yeah, I would. Thought he was hugely impressive. He's even his profile. He's only 10 runs, and like I like horses. The Arkle can throw up Gold Cup horses. It has done before.
Oh, absolutely.
Kicking King and War of Attrition, and like. He probably should only been second in it, whatever. But it was a good run. And the one thing I would say about him, he's inclined to make a mistake. You know what I mean? If you look at his form for every race that he's been in the last 3 or 4 races, it's always mistake, 3rd, mistake, 10th. You know what I mean? You know, that kind of thing. But if he can iron out his jumping, he's got a huge engine, Django Boy.
He does. And in fairness, I fancy Gidley Park. It was very well backed.
Yeah.
And look, he ran his race.
He did.
And he'll never beat Django Boy, because Django Boy is a better horse than as you can see. But I just thought it was very, very aggressive from Brian Carver to ride him the way he did. And people would say he got the run of the race. But to do that first time out with a reasonably fragile horse, I thought he was asking a lot of Gidley Park.
But if he was a top horse, he'd have been able to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's my point. He's probably just not top class.
No,
he's a bit below it. And he's a bit soft.
Well, your man came and beat him easy, didn't he? Like
he
did,
said.
Yeah. I thought he got the run. I thought, like, if I backed Gidley Park, I'd have been very happy with the ride he got anyway.
Okay, yeah.
He forced it. He jumped well. He took the lead
off.
He
have to force it like that, though, does he?
But by
so much pace in the race, like.
But by forcing it, you're putting away Pictori.
Yeah.
You know.
And Ile Francais.
Yeah. And Ile Francais. You've beaten 2 horses straight away.
So it was a match then, yeah.
Yeah, it boiled down to a match, and Django Boy came in. But Django Boy was hugely impressive. I would say that he even more so than it. I think see more. He's obviously going to go for the King George.
Do you fancy him in the King George?
I think he's a good chance. But I wouldn't rule him out of the Gold Cup if he didn't win the King George. I think he'll stay forever and ever, that horse, Django Boy. He looked like he was like doing half speed going to the line in that race, you know. And like he'll definitely get 3 miles, and I think he'll stay further even though. He's a horse that's Kempton's. Everything happens quick. Yeah. If I thought he put a blemish-free round in Kempton, I'd fancy him for the King George, but there's that little niggle about him too. He might have that little bit more time to get organised in a place like Cheltenham. Kempton, you have to be really precise and punishes horses that don't jump properly. Like, and if he did, I'd say he's a big runner. But King George is a funny race. You can see horses beat after 3 or 4 fences there at times, you know. Yeah. And I'd be hoping he wouldn't be one of them, no. But he's a horse with a huge engine.
There you go, Johnny Dineen, star of the week. It's Django Boy. So let's find out Johnny's one for the Racing Post tracker, the one horse that caught your eye in the last week, Johnny. And I'm sure There was plenty that caught your eye, I'd say.
Yeah, there was a good few, of course. This time of the year, there's lots of horses that run well in defeat as such. I went with Zanouche, ran in a mare's
How do we spell that now?
Zanoush. It ran in a mare's maiden.
Oh, is this is Colin Murphy's?
Colin Murphy,
yes.
yeah, it finished.
This was a massive eye catch.
Yeah, it was. It finished third in Fairy House last Friday.
Yeah.
I think it had a penalty. It has because it won a bumper in Fairy House.
Very easy to back, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say it was like just. It was his third run, so it's actually fully handicapped now on the back of that run.
Jumps well too. Yeah.
Jumps well, does everything right. It's 2.5 miles, stays well in that. Likes a bit of soft ground. It's handicapped, so it can go down the handicap route. I can also go for a mare's maiden hurdle. Yeah.
She has ability, that horse.
Oh, she has. And do you know what a race that you'd trying to identify a target for? Maybe there's a mare's race at the Dublin Racing Festival, the first race on the Sunday.
Yes.
It's a 2.25 mile handicap for mares. That would be a race now that she could be primed for, I would have thought.
I think Colin Murphy actually, did he run Savante?
He did, yeah, he did, I think, yeah. That's a race now that she could be targeted at, you know. So you hear the stories about fellas that are target trainers. I mean, that is a target. I could see her rocking up and that and having a good chance.
Mare's Hurdle winner won it. Black Tears won it one year, yeah.
Did she, yeah? Yeah. Well, that's a horse that could have a say in a race like that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I did see that race and I thought she poked your eye out. That is Zanouche. Johnny Dineen's one for the Racing Post tracker. Are you a Racing Post Plus member? If you're not, here's what you're missing out on. Right, Johnny, it's your never ordinary moment. The moment where you went, wow.
Yeah, that was yesterday. And I didn't, I'm not talking through my pocket now. I was watching a race yesterday in Ludlow. David Bass rode a horse called Why Not? Did you see that race?
I did see it, yeah.
Unnatural how he was on that, in my opinion, anyway.
Fowler would have won, though, wouldn't it? Double powerful.
I don't know. It had been free and everything. You know what I mean? It was still 4 out. Like, you know what I mean? It was no certainly to win. It was, look, I don't know what would have won the race, but only for Bass, Why Not wouldn't have won anyway. That's all I can tell you.
He was.
Jeez, he gave it some driving into about 10 fences in a row, like every gee, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I love. I love backing David Bass. I think he's a great jockey and a much underused rider and underrated. I know he's gone from Bailey for some reason. Whatever happened there.
Bellamy is riding most.
Yeah. Like,
would you prefer Bass to Bellamy?
I wouldn't even. They wouldn't even be in the same ballpark, in my opinion.
You'd have Bass ahead of Bellamy?
Oh, miles. Bass is a great jockey.
Wow, okay.
I think Bass is a very good rider. But for some reason, he's not getting the rides. I don't know why it is. But he's one jockey that, if you're a punter, he's a great jockey to have.
He's the Johnny Dineen dream.
Oh, he is. He's dynamiting horses. He's driving yokes into every hurdle and every fence. And he's positive as well. Do you know what I mean?
Very, yeah.
Yeah, but like he does. But even on Why Not now, it needed about 7 or 8 good jumps just to hang in, and eventually he only won a neck. Yeah, like it's the difference between winning. It's the difference between being up in the counter.
Strong in a finish.
Oh, he's a great rider. I think he is anyway. I think he's like of all the jockeys in England that doesn't seem to be fashionable. He's the best in my opinion. Like I see fellas there with retainers. You know what I mean? You read these fellas have retainer. He's retained by a certain owner. Like retainer. Like, you're retaining the attainable. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody else would want one of some of these guys. Retainer. I mean, you wouldn't give him a can of Coke to ride for you, would you? Some of these fellas. Like, Bass is an excellent rider. Do you know? Like you get a retainer should be because he's going to be in demand, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. I see for this, he's riding for such an owner, and they're like, he's retained. Imagine he's actually paying this man to ride your horses. I don't know. But anyway, look.
You like Bass anyway?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think Bass is strong, he's aggressive, he's proactive. He's everything you want in it for a punter, and he leaves it like he leaves it all out there anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And you've no association with him. You don't know the family or anything.
No. I've met him.
You're just massive fan.
Big fan, yeah. Like he's my kind of jockey on a horse anyway. He gives it every chance to win.
There we go. Johnny Dineen's never ordinary moment. It's David Bass on Why Not at Ludlow on Monday. So let's see what Johnny is going to serve up for us this week with his midweek treat. He went to Dundalk last week. Didn't go great, Johnny.
No, it ran terrible.
Lily Parr.
Oh, she ran bad, yeah. And do you know what? I was in a betting shop, and I wasn't going to back her because she was around 2-1. I thought it would be tight. Didn't she go to about 130? Didn't they get caught each way in her? Yeah.
And you're back to each way and finish for.
She finished. She was never even looked like being played. You know what I mean? No, I did think it was a match, but I suppose it should have probably it shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know what I mean? I should have put up the.
It's all right. It's only 1 week gone.
Yeah,
it's okay, right? You can make things better here now this week. What have you got for us? I'm
going to go with Risk Away. I'm going away from Dundalk now. I'm going to keep that.
Dundalk is banned.
Yeah, gone. Yeah, Risk Away with the 122 in Thurles.
Thurles is on Thursday. Yeah, okay.
It's not the world's worst race now at the same time, so it's not going to be horrendous bad price right now. Like you could fancy a lot of horses the weekend, but I just going to put this because it's a guaranteed runner. It's declared and all now by now. So, but there is a horse of the Brahmins in it. Mullins has one in it. So it's not a gimme race, but it has a good chance. It looks,
and good form and bumpers Risk Away. Yeah,
yeah. It was second, just touched off by Minella Jury in Wexford, and you know, Elliot's horses, Gigginstown in particular, are normally better when they get over an obstacle, maybe over fences even. But the fact it's going to be a better horse overhaul than you'd have thought, and it's probably going to be better again over fences. 2.5 miles gives it time to get operating. It probably wants that trip. I think it has a great chance anyway. There
we go. Risk Away in the 122 at Thurles on Thursday is Johnny's midweek treat. So then, what's happening this week? It's a massive weekend. Yes, we've got the Fighting Fifth at Newcastle, the Coral Gold Cup at Newbury, and it's big Grade 1 day at Fairyhouse on Sunday with the Bar 1 race and Hatton's Grace Hurdle and Drimmore and Royal Bond. But we're going to kick off on Friday at Newbury. ITV cameras are at Newbury for the long distance hurdle, Johnny, one of the big races there on Friday. It is an interesting race. Strong Leader is favourite. Will you be taking on Strong Leader?
No, not necessarily taking on, but I was taking a leaning towards maybe Impose Et Toi.
Yeah, I thought
that one well in it was only a handicapping thing, but like Strong Leader is obviously he's a goodish horse, but like, he was all out all out in the wood for it, isn't Weatherby, like, you know. Like, he's a horse that can run the odd gammy race as well. I thought it doesn't. To get to the English stairs anyway at this distance, it's not going to take a lot from a handicapper. And Impose Et Toi, like, it's second to Jimmy Desai in the Coral Cup. It's a proven 7-year-old horse. It won very easy in.
It's very impressive at age. Yeah, and the hurdles are amazing.
A horse I didn't really fancy was Honesty Policy. Is that running here?
Yeah, well, we haven't got the declaration yet,
but I just think there's a nice step up from a novice. I'd rather maybe chance a handicapper than a novice. You know, you see the likes of Potter's Charm. Like it's not that easy to make the step up into a staying hurdle horse. So I thought Impose. I saw 5 to 1 if you thought it was a guaranteed.
Yeah, if you ran, I suppose the fact that Honesty Policy and Impose have the same owner. Yeah, that's obviously a worry. Like.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, but there's a good chance to both of them run.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I agree. I think Impose was definitely the most interesting runner in the race.
Like, I'd nearly have thought, knowing nothing now, I know a clue, that Impose Et Toi would be more likely to run than Honesty Policy. Okay. Like Impose Et Toi, it's on its doorstep, isn't it? Like, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So I think Impose Et Toi might win if it did turn up.
Yeah, good shout. And moving on to Saturday, the big one, the Fighting Fifth hurdle at Newcastle, Johnny. Now, before we get into it, right? So it's obviously the New Line versus Constitution Hill versus Amsterdam. Have you a strong opinion, even not on what's going to win the race, but what's not going to win the race? Have you a strong opinion?
Look, I haven't a huge opinion as such.
I thought you might.
Yeah, look, I put it this way. I could never again back Constitution Hill anymore.
Right, here we go.
Right. I couldn't back that.
What did you make of the gallop at Newbury?
Stop. Sure, all it's doing is walking up the straight, isn't it, really, with about 2 other horses? Sure, that's not a gallop, is it? Like, I don't think it is anyway. But anyway, look, whether it's...
He galloped, like... He galloped, he quickened up. Like.
I did, yeah. But sure, he did from about 100 furlong down and all that kind of stuff. Just not... You couldn't read anything into that.
Okay.
Good nor bad, I don't think. The New Line, like, is coming back to 2 miles from a novice. Like, the New Line is a hard horse to gauge. Like, do you gauge him by beating Final Demand, or do you gauge him by beating Yellow Clay?
Well, either. Like, I suppose it's Yellow Clay is still a Grade 1 winner.
But the Yellow Clay ran in this anyway, he'd be about 5,000 to 1, wouldn't he, like, at the same time? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't have an earthly. Whereas
But so would Final Demand.
Yeah, but I wondered did Final Demand give his running in Cheltenham? He mustn't have had, because how could the Yellow Clay beat him? Whatever about this fella beating him, the New Line, you know?
You're leaning towards Amsterdam, aren't you?
I am. If Amsterdam is a good horse, I think he'll beat the 2.
What are you now? Come on now, Johnny, right? It's your last series, right? Don't hold that back, right? Were you chatting to Joe?
I was one day, and all he said was, he's a good horse, but he's hard to keep right. He doesn't actually know. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So, but how good is good? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't actually know.
Well, he has a few good ones, so if he's good, he must be good.
But like, if I was forced to have a bet, I'm not having a bet in the race anyway because I don't know enough about them, to be honest. I would maybe think Amsterdam has a good chance. The betting will reveal a bit
Okay,
too.
just say if we're standing here next week, right?
Yeah.
And there's an odds-on favourite for the champion hurdle after the race. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, if something won 15 wins, you know what I mean?
That's my question for you. Who would you be most shocked if we're standing here next Tuesday and I say, and 4-6 favourite for the champion hurdle is Constitution Hill? How shocked would you be?
I'd be shocked if anyone won by a big margin, I think. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think the jury's out on all three, really. You know what I mean? It's a hard race to get your head around insofar as it's hard to be dogmatic as to what they'll do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really Punchestown is the thing that petrifies me.
I couldn't have Constitution in my mind.
He didn't want to line up.
Yeah.
That jump in front of the stands the first time around,
Yeah.
that's serious mental scars, isn't it?
I couldn't have him anyway, and I wonder how good is the new line. It's just you just.
I think he'll win the new line.
Yeah.
I think he's the up and coming horse.
He is, I suppose, yeah. But
vibes are good, unbeaten, has pace, and I know you'll say that, but you have to remember he was a massive drifter ahead of the Turners as well. The new line.
The one huge thing I think against the new line is how that he's never run at 2 miles.
Sure, it was just that was the program for him last year.
But if you had a good, like Wonders does it all the time, if they have a good 2.5 mile horse, invariably they'll start at 2 miles. This horse started straight away, bang, 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then
a good horse would win a 2 mile maiden hurdle, a 2.5 miler would easily.
I think that's foolish to just hold that against.
No,
them.
I think it's a worry though at the same time.
Okay. A final question on this would be, how do you think the race is going to pan out? Constitution Hill make the run, won't he?
I think that's his best chance of winning anyway. Yeah,
Your horse has been supplemented in the main line.
Yeah, that shouldn't have any chance in the race as deep as this. I'll be interested to see what happens. I think whatever wins it will be obviously clear favourite now, unless it's a ping pong finish and there's nothing in it, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't it's a race I'm really looking forward to, and I don't look forward to watching many races without a bet, and this will be one of them.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah, I think the new line is the one. The Coral Gold Cup, Old Hennessy. Anything you like in this?
I fancy Meyerton. I fancy them with long time. I think he's not a bad price at 7 to 1. I know he's gone up a stone, but he won with some amount in Cheltenham. You know what I mean?
Massive chance.
Oh, I think he's a great chance. He's a good, clean jumper. I think he's going to be ridden aggressively, and I could see him having this race one turning in even. You know what I mean? Because I think that if he doesn't have a one turning in, he won't be anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But his jumping was really accurate. He's going to be going from the front. He's going to be in and around it anyway, and he
jumps a bit to his left.
He'll definitely be in front, jumping the cross fence if he's able. Anyway, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they won't. I don't think there'll be anything catching myself.
Okay, Meyertown for Johnny. I agree. I think Meyertown will be hard to beat. I'm going to give a shout out to Lowry's Bar, the bigger price. I think he's about 25 to 1. He's off 148. It's his first run of the season. He's a really good horse who jumps really well. I think this race will suit him. He's stepping up in trip, and I think he's crying out for this sort of trip. So I would be at a huge price Lowry's Bar, but like Johnny, I think Meyertown is the one to beat. And Grade 1's on Sunday. What's the name of that Gordon Elliott trained favourite that won the Stairs Hurdle before? He's back.
He's back, yeah.
What's it called?
T-Hupo. Yeah. Is that the race we're talking about?
Yeah.
I think
against Ballyburn?
I think he'll win, yeah.
You think he'll beat Ballyburn?
I would. I couldn't have Ballyburn in my mind either, to be honest. I just couldn't. I don't like horses coming back from chasing the fences. No. And okay, you could.
But is he actually any good, Ballyburn? That's my question.
Oh, I don't know at this stage.
I thought he was the second coming, and maybe I'm just disappointed. I was his biggest fan early on. Is he?
I don't know. You just don't know. Is he? But you can count in one finger the amount of good horses came from Chase. Like Bouvardere is about the only horse I can think of off the top of my head. And that was unbeaten over fences. I'm talking about a horse that started to run bad over fences to come back and be a good hurdle horse.
Yeah.
You know,
but he still is a Grade 1 winner over fences.
Ballyburn. Yeah, he is, but he looks like he needs it all his own way, and I don't know. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I'd be a bit like you.
Now T-Hupo last year, Lossimo took it out, but Lossimo is a queer detail at the same time, isn't it? So I think T-Hupo will beat Ballyburn.
Okay.
I do. I
have a feeling he will.
I thought in around even money was pretty fair.
So Ballyburn is favourite at the moment. You think T-Hupo is the one though?
Well, I can't see why T-Hupo, when it only runs twice a year, is not going to be ready here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing in Ballyburn's favour, the fact that they didn't run Lossimo and they're relying on him. It's a pretty good statement of intent, isn't it, really? They must be giving him a good chance. But I'd still be with T-Hupo all day long. Okay.
And finally, the Drimore novice chase. Romeo Coolio looks like he could be odds on.
Yeah, and it's entitled to be too. He's entitled. The only negative for Romeo Coley is how it got beaten in the Royal Bond last year. I do not know. Do you know? Like, it's more or less it's carbon copy again here. There's nothing of its ability, I don't think, in the race. Yet it still managed to lose. But apart from that, it looks bomb-proof. I thought it was absolute certainty, but that's just a small little niggle in the back of your head. But it should win. It's probably it's a better bet than even Teupo because it has nothing to beat, really.
Okay, so it could be a good day for Gordon Elliott at Ferriers on Sunday with Romeo Coolio and Teupo, and that's what's happening this week. And now it's time for DJ versus JD, our weekly charity bet competition with thanks to our sponsors, Bet365, who are giving us 50 quid every week to try and make money for charity. No luck last week. You the non-runner, late non-runner as well.
That's right, yeah.
At Ascot, was the Harry Fry horse.
Idaho Sun, yeah.
Idaho Sun was a non-runner. Given the way the race went as well.
Oh, stop, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And I went for Gidley Park, who was second. Got the value anyway, Johnny, 6-1, I think.
Did you? Yeah.
Went off pretty short, Gidley Park. But so I'm minus 50. You say on 0. Okay, what have you got first this week?
Look, I'm going to go with Teupo. I need to get a winner on this thing, actually. Yeah, to get started. So, as I said, non-runner last week, I'll go with Teupo. Like, in around even money, like, I think that's a fair price, don't we say?
Okay, Teupo for Johnny and the Hattons Grace Hurdle at Fairyhouse on Sunday. And I'm going to Newbury on Friday, the Johnny Frankham Novices Chase at Newbury. I think it's the 150. Regent Stroll, I think, is going to make a winning chasing debut. 2-1 with Bet365 is more than fair. He's taken on Wendigo. I think he's got a lot more pace than Wendigo, and just the way he attacked his hurdles as especially at Aintree on his final start, I thought that was a cracking run. And I think this is a good starting point for him. No drama this end, one for Paul Nicholls, and I think this could be another potentially nice novice chaser for Paul Nicholls. So I'm with Regent Stroll in the Johnny Frankham Novices Chase at Newbury on Friday at 2-1. Hopefully, that could be a nice little double, Johnny. 2-1.
2-1 is 5-1, yeah, absolutely.
There you go, that's good maths, well done.
Yeah.
There you go. That's DJ versus JD. Now it's festival squads time. Myself and Johnny both made our first entry onto our team sheet last week. I went with Sortudo in the Albert Bartlett at 25-1, who I don't know if he enhanced his claims or did them a whole lot of damage by winning at Cork, because it was over 2 miles and he absolutely bolted up. So my biggest fear now, I think he's into 12-1 with Bet365, having been 25-1 last week. Biggest fear now is that he's too good for the Albert Bartlett. But he's a good horse, Sortudo. And Dr. de Menil, after Johnny put him up, he's been hammered in the market, Johnny. You started little gambles, so you have, yeah. Have you anything for us this week?
No, I didn't put up anything.
How close were you to?
Close enough. I was looking at that. Well, there's probably too much water to go under the bridge, but I thought that horse of Martin Breslau's was very impressive in the bumper.
It's only a game.
Yeah, I can imagine that he could be sticking at bumpers this season. He could be dangerous in a race like that, but
quickened up well, yeah.
He did. He quickened like a smart horse now. He's a horse like that. You wouldn't see horses quicken in bumpers like that. And he got a fair bit of hardship too, coming up the inside. Like, to win after getting belted up against the rail a few times, he showed a good attitude too. I'd say he's a good horse now, very good horse. But first of all, I don't know, is he going to be kept to bumpers? Yeah. And the second thing is that there's not enough horses that have raised their head yet to say for certain that he's going to be involved. But I'm going to leave him go a while anyway. Okay, it's interesting you mentioned Martin Brazel there, because I'm going to put one on my team this week, and it's trained by Martin Brazel. It's Desert Moorhouse for the Glenfarclas Cross Country Chase at 10-1 with Bet365. I was seriously impressed with Desert Moorhouse at Punchestown on Sunday. I just thought he looked like he loved the game. He travelled, he jumped, he attacked every obstacle that came his way. And the interesting thing afterwards was that Martin Brazel was just like, yeah, Cheltenham is absolutely the number one aim, and that's where he's going. And I think in a race like this, especially this year, when you're gone beyond the Tiger Rolls and potentially like your Delta Works, when they're gone, like Stumptown is a very short price favourite. He obviously won the Pardubice. But after Stumptown, you're looking for what actually might actually run the race. The race in November was obviously called off. But he's an up-and-coming horse who's only ran twice over the banks. He was second to Busselton in the Latouche, only caught late. He bolted up against a good horse in the Goffer on Sunday. He's rated 140. He's a former Kerry National winner. He's a little touch of class. He's trained by a really good trainer. I just think he ticks loads and loads of boxes, Desert Moorhouse. And barring accidents or injury, you'd imagine that's where he's going. And I just can't see him being 10-1 on the day. I think he's going to be much shorter. Yeah, what kind of weight will Stumptown have in that race, like? Or what kind of rate is he running off of? Well, he'll be up in high 150s anyway, yeah. So you better be getting over a stone off. Well, you'd imagine he'd be getting a stone anyway. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a race I am a lot of interest in. No, it's very early to be tipping a horse, but I just saw an opportunity, 10-1 Bet365.
you're looking at dangers. You know that's where he's going to be aimed. You know he's loving that type of discipline. So I just thought now was maybe the time, because he's a horse I could see starting 3-1 on the day. So I'm going to get him into my team. That's Desamore House for the Glenfarclas Cross Country Chase at 10-1 with Bet365. And finally, it's time for Johnny's joke of the week, where he can make us laugh or he can have a rant. Have you a rant for us this week?
Look, I have loads of rants, but I'm going to try and keep the rants to a minimum. You know what I mean?
Oh, are
I
you?
don't want to come across as an angry little man and say, you know what I mean?
We love it. We love an old Johnny
I
rant.
will have a rant now maybe next week.
Give us a week. Yeah, give us a rant next week.
There's plenty to rant about. As
So
far as
what,
I can see.
your priest joke went down well last week.
I'll give a little. This is a short one anyway. But a couple of friends of mine, they go to Cheltenham with good characters. Like
I've met a few of them.
yeah, happy-go-lucky guys. Not worried about. We'll worry about tomorrow. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Good characters. But anyway, one of them was over in Spain there lately, and he's ringing back the other fella, and he's saying, I was in the pub, he said, watching the race, and I met an English fella called Chad. Genius, he said. He's after giving me 3 or 4 winners in a row. He said, this man is an absolute topper of all toppers.
Chad.
Chad, that was his
Come
name.
on, Chad.
So the next thing anyway, he rings the following day anyway, and he says, do you see the 220? Huntington? My man is, yeah, I did, yeah. Chad, done it again, 4-1, he said, on its own.
Come on, Chad.
So my man is getting a bit cross at the other end of the phone now. He's listening to this stuff, and he says, that's all good now. He says, but I must go down to town now and see can I back it with anyone. You know what I mean? And the man says, well, how do you mean? Well, it's like 20-3, the horse had to win at 20 past 2. The other fella says, sorry. He says, I thought you were nowhere behind over there.
We all know Chad's, let me tell you. If only it was that easy. There we go. Chad, the genius, is Johnny Dineen's joke of the week. So that's it, Johnny. That's it for episode 2 of Upping The Ante. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. So the guts of 40,000 of you watching this show haven't subscribed yet. So just press the little subscription just down there, and we'll be having a massive giveaway ahead of the Cheltenham Festival, which we will be revealing in the next couple of weeks. So please subscribe. Right, Johnny, what's this week looking like for you?
Busy this weekend now, yeah.
You're not?
Yeah, we are, yeah, we are.
What?
That's
the revelation of all
no,
revelations.
it's busy. What's day today? Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wow.
Playing a little game of poker Wednesday night still.
So that's
Wednesday night covered.
So this is busy.
Thursday night, we're going to see the big fella with the beard.
Santi.
Yeah. So that's
With the
Thursday
kids.
covered.
Right.
Friday, I have a young fella soccer match. He plays at 8:15. I've got to see that. Saturday.
What's he under what now?
He's under nothing now. He's playing like all age. Yeah. So it's.
Any good?
Yeah, sure.
Where does he play?
He plays midfield. Yeah. He's not the biggest in the world, you know what I mean? But you know what I noticed about that soccer? I've watched a few matches. There don't be much sledging in it, you know what I mean? They don't like to try to kill each other, you know what I mean? There's like, you know, like a young fella get away with it, like playing away against older fellas. They don't like to break his legs, you know what I mean? As far as I can see, they don't anyway. There's a bit of respect.
So you'll go, that'll be cold now.
Oh, freezing, yeah. Saturday.
Well, you will get out of the car.
We will, yeah. Saturday I have to bring our little one of the smaller, is a gymnastics competition in Limerick on Saturday. So that'll
time is that?
It's 4 o'clock in the day or something like that.
Oh, Johnny.
So I'll be travelling and everything.
Johnny.
And
that's not great time.
Sunday, I think, have we our party Sunday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Race and post party Sunday. Are you coming to that?
I am, I think, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
So that's my full weekend covered now, you know what I
That
mean?
is a busy couple of days, Johnny.
Yeah.
And I know you want to give a shout out to some people who are not feeling that well.
Yeah,
at the moment.
look, a little girl, her dad he posted on the YouTube, Evie Miller. We mentioned her last year. She watches it, and
Evie, if you're watching, hopefully you enjoyed the show.
And my former neighbour of mine, good character, not feeling great at the moment, Pat McGrath from Cork.
Pat McGrath.
Yeah, he watches this. He's really interested in the horse.
Is he a Johnny Dineen fan?
He likes going to Cheltenham and all them places anyway. Do you know what I mean? And he watches this regular. He watches this regular anyway every week. I'd say, yeah.
Okay, there we go. So there you go, Pat. If you're watching, Johnny's advice for the week: Tihupu, wasn't it?
Tihupu, yeah, exactly.
There you go. If you learn one thing from the show, it's Tihupu in the Hatton's Grace Hurdle at Fairy House on Sunday. So that's it, Johnny. Best of luck with your busy week now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it
As I
goes
said,
well.
every night covered now. You know.
We'll see you on Sunday night, and we will see you back here next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, same time, same place. But until then, I've been David Jennings. He's been Johnny Dineen. Thanks for watching Up in the Ante.